Kenny Campbell, I'm the editor of Metro. Essentially, an editor destroys everybody else's good work. The editor's job really is to make sure the team is pushing the newspaper, the magazine, whatever the publication, in the right direction. Internships, work experience, I get this asked a lot, how important are they? They're massively important. They give you a chance to put yourself ahead of the competition. A lot of publications, a lot of places will look to see if you've got a formal journalistic qualification, and if you haven't, bang, your CV goes in the bin. There's nothing you can do about that. If you can short-circuit the process and get an internship, get work experience, you get inside the building, you get inside the industry, you make contacts. Journalism has always been about contacts, and that applies as much to the career path as it does to getting stories. If you get a chance to get an internship or work experience, you grab it with both hands, or someone else will. The importance of youth to workforces in general, can't be overstated. No youth, you have no future. To our business, incredibly important, because as a newspaper we have by far the youngest readership in the country. We need to have people working for us who reflect that audience. So if we don't have younger people in the office, we're a bunch of old fuddy-duddies putting together a newspaper that we think will appeal to younger people. That's a fail. But it's very difficult to get in, I'm not kidding anyone. We get applications galore from people, and there's an element of luck. If you get the chance to get in, to visit the office, then again, you take it, you take it, you take it. You have no idea who it is you might meet, who might be able to send you an email one day and say, word is they're looking for an assistant, an admin assistant, somebody doing anything, sweeping up the boardroom floor, anything at all that gets you in the door again. But it's very difficult. There's an awful lot of competition out there. I have a university degree, but I'm not qualified in journalism. I don't have a formal degree, and lots of people out there would say, yeah man, that's obvious, we can see that. But I've got people out there who don't have journalism degrees as well. There's a mix and match. More people will have formal degrees because that's one of the recognised routes into the profession. But if you don't want to go down that route because it's expensive these days, then make sure that the time you would have spent studying you put to good use, and you knock down doors, you phone people up, you email them, you do whatever it takes to get ahead of the competition again. But never undervalue education. This is something I'm a fan of. Top 5 tips on how to get into newspapers in no particular order. Tip number 1, contacts, contacts, contacts. Newspapers have always been about contacts. That's how you get stories, it's also how you get jobs. It's how I got promotions, it's how I got jobs in different newspapers, it's how you get in the door if you're lucky. Don't be afraid to use them, and if you don't use them, more fool you. Know the publication or the program or the broadcast that you want to get into. There's no point somebody coming to me and say, I really want to work in newspapers, I want to write opinion columns for Metro, because we don't have an opinion column. Fail. Know your publication. Grab all the opportunities, no matter how stupid or insubstantial they seem, because if you don't grab the opportunity, somebody else will grab the opportunity, and you'll spend the rest of your life wondering, what if? Stay ahead of the competition. This is a good rule for business anyway. But if you're doing an NCTJ course, don't wait until the class is told to go and get work experience before you get work experience. I'm going to get an inbox with 6 emails from the same course from people saying, please, I want to do some work experience. Think. You've got to stay ahead of the competition. Remember that all stories are words and pictures. Some of the pictures move, some of the words are spoken, but they're all words and stories. And words and stories aren't going anywhere, no matter what happens to newspapers, to magazines, to websites, to radio stations. They're here to stay. If you can't get work experience or a job in your chosen media platform, get in somewhere else, because the experience you get will be relevant one way or the other. Actually, the best examples of people who've come in here and made a success are people who were thinking inside the box. Lisa, who looks after our health and sex pages, she came in again just to help out around the office really, and she asked if she could speak to me for 10 minutes. And I said, what do I do to get a full-time job in newspapers? And I said, well, there are several things you can do. The first thing is, get a qualification. If you're not working in a newspaper and you've got the chance, do some education. She said, no, I'm doing that. I'm doing it at night classes, 2-year course, finishes later this year. I went, oh, okay, good. What else should I do? get experience with your local newspaper, get experience with a magazine, get experience somewhere, get in the door. And she said to me, I'm doing that. A few weeks later, an opportunity came up in the office to work in the features section. We'd seen what she could do writing-wise because she was in the office. Bang, she was in. Great example of somebody spotting the opportunity, grabbing it, using that opportunity to speak to me and getting herself noticed. So thinking inside the box isn't a bad thing.